The year 2026 has finally arrived, and with it, a cultural phenomenon that many feared might never happen in its full, original glory. The Purple Ocean is rising once again, and the roar of the crowd isn't just a memory anymore, it's a living, breathing reality. BTS has officially returned from their hiatus, and their 2026 World Tour is breaking every record in the book before the first light stick has even been turned on. But as the excitement reaches a fever pitch, a shadow of mystery and intense curiosity hangs over the logistics of this comeback. How much is the price of a dream? In an era of record-breaking inflation and unprecedented demand, the American leg of this tour has become a financial battlefield. Fans from every corner of the globe are staring at their screens, watching numbers climb to heights we've never seen in the industry. From the glitz of the West Coast to the historic stadiums of the East, the cost of witnessing this reunion varies wildly. Have you ever wondered which city will demand the ultimate sacrifice from your savings account? Is there a city where the dream of seeing RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook is actually within reach for the average fan? What secret factors are driving these prices into the stratosphere, and which city stands as the final boss of ticket pricing? Prepare yourselves, because we are about to pull back the curtain on the most expensive seats in music history. Are you ready to find out if your city is the most elite stop on the map? Let's dive into the high-stakes world of the 2026 BTS American Tour, counting down from the absolute highest ticket prices to the most affordable stops on this legendary journey. Would you like me to start with the first ranking? Number 10. The Sunshine State's Purple Pirate Invasion, a tropical gateway to the reunion. Tampa, Florida. Estimated ticket price, $600, $2,500. Coming in at the 10 spot on our high-stakes list is the vibrant, sun-drenched city of Tampa, Florida, a location that feels more like a celebratory vacation than just another tour stop. Now, don't let the lowest ranking fool you in the context of the BTS 2026 World Tour. Affordable is a very relative term. While we are looking at a starting price point of around $600 for those upper-level seats at the iconic Raymond James Stadium, the emotional value is off the charts. You have to understand that Florida has long been a place where fans have begged for a visit, and after the long hiatus and the military service years, the 2026 Arirang Tour finally granting this wish feels like a miracle in the making. Imagine the scene, the humidity of the Florida Gulf Coast mixing with the electric anticipation of tens of thousands of armies clad in purple, many of whom have traveled from across the Caribbean and the southern United States just to catch a glimpse of the 7 members back together on stage. The Raymond James Stadium is famous for its massive pirate ship, but for these 2 nights in April 2026, that ship might as well be flying a bangtan flag. The reason Tampa sits at number 10 isn't due to a lack of demand, trust me. The digital queue will still be a nightmare, but rather due to the local market's slightly more accessible pricing compared to the hyperinflated tech hubs of the West Coast or the financial giants of the Northeast. Here, you aren't just paying for a ticket, you're paying for the atmosphere of a tropical reunion. The air will be thick with the scent of saltwater and the sound of fanchons echoing across the bay. We are talking about a venue that has hosted Super Bowls, yet the logistics for a BTS comeback are on another level entirely. Security experts and city officials are already bracing for the BTS effect, where local hotels are booked out years in advance and local businesses are preparing for a surge that rivals a national holiday. Reflecting on why this stop is special, one can't help but think of the journey the members have taken, from their early days of small theater tours in America to now, where even their cheapest city requires a significant investment from a fan's savings. It's a testament to their growth and the unshakable bond with their audience. For the lucky fans in Tampa, the lower price floor doesn't mean a lower quality show. Hype has spared no expense for this 2026 return, with rumors of a stage design that utilizes massive LED screens and pyrotechnics that can be seen from miles away. The Arirang theme suggests a deep connection to Korean heritage, and seeing that heritage celebrated in the heart of Florida creates a beautiful, cross-cultural mosaic. As you sit in those seats, even the ones way up in the nosebleed sections, the sight of the purple ocean of light sticks against the darkening Florida sky will be a memory that lasts a lifetime. It's a moment of collective healing after the years of waiting, a realization that the most beautiful moment in life wasn't just a chapter in the past, but a living, breathing present. The pricing here reflects a slightly more traditional stadium model before the dynamic pricing madness of the bigger cities truly takes hold, making it the strategic choice for fans who are willing to brave the Florida sun for a slightly better chance at a seat. But even at number 10, the pressure is immense. Can you imagine the heartbeat of a fan clicking refresh on their screen, knowing that this is their best shot at an affordable experience? The reality of the 2026 tour is that the demand is so high, every seat is a goldmine. Tampa serves as the perfect starting point for our list, a beautiful, high-energy gateway that sets the bar incredibly high for what's to come as we climb the ladder of the most expensive cities on the tour. Is the lower price tag here a sign of things to come, or is it just the calm before the financial storm of the bigger metropolitan stops? How far would you go, and how much would you sacrifice to be part of this history in the making? Tampa is just the beginning, a purple spark in the Sunshine State that promises the fire of a global phenomenon. As the members take the stage for the first time in Florida in years, the price of the ticket will be the last thing on anyone's mind. It will be about the music, the message, and the 7 men who changed the world. But as we move forward, the numbers are only going to get crazier. Are you ready to see what happens when we move into the territory where a single ticket could cost as much as a used car? Tampa is the dream realized for many, but for the cities higher up on our list, it's a high-stakes gamble for the ultimate fan experience. Number 9. The Sun-Kissed Frontier. A high-stakes border city spectacle. El Paso, Texas, estimated ticket price, $650, $2,800. Just a notch above our previous stop, we head to the ruggedly beautiful and culturally rich landscape of El Paso, Texas. Ranking at number 9, El Paso represents a fascinating shift in the 2026 tour logistics. Usually, when people think of Texas stops for a global titan like BTS, they immediately look toward Dallas or Houston. But for the 2026 comeback, Hybe and the organizers chose the Sun City, and the market reaction has been nothing short of explosive. The Sun Bowl Stadium, carved into the Rocky Hills, provides a backdrop that is almost cinematic, but that beauty comes with a premium price tag starting at $650. Why is El Paso more expensive than a major hub like Tampa? The answer lies in the scarcity and the unique geographical draw. El Paso sits as a massive gateway not just for West Texas, but for New Mexico, Arizona, and most importantly, a massive dedicated fan base from Mexico just across the border. This creates a perfect storm of demand. You have international fans crossing the bridge from Ciudad Juarez and flying in from Mexico City, clashing with American fans who couldn't snag tickets in California or East Texas. It's a literal crossroads of the world. The atmosphere in El Paso is expected to be deeply emotional. The city has a soul that resonates with the themes of resilience and unity that BTS has championed throughout their career. Imagine the members performing Spring Day or a 2026 comeback anthem as the desert sun sets, turning the sky a deep shade of orange and purple that matches the army bombs in the crowd. The $2,800 VIP packages here aren't just for the seat. They are for the privilege of being part of a historic first. El Paso hasn't seen an event of this magnitude in decades, if ever. The city's infrastructure is being pushed to its absolute limit, with Purple Desert fan events being planned from the historic downtown to the scenic overlooks. This price point reflects the intense dynamic pricing algorithms that kick in when a specific region is underserved. Because there are fewer stops in this part of the country, every seat in the Sun Bowl becomes a precious commodity. Fans are reflecting on the fact that El Paso represents the bridge between cultures, mirrors the boys' own journey of crossing borders with their music. There's a gritty, real-world intensity to this stop. You aren't just in a polished corporate arena, you're in a stadium that feels like it's part of the earth itself. The 5,000-character narrative of this stop is written in the sweat and tears of fans who have saved every penny, working extra shifts just to afford the $650 entry fee. They know that this might be a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see the full lineup in such a unique setting. The reflection here is deep. It's about the democratization of music versus the reality of global commerce. Even as we call this number 9, the financial weight on a young fan's shoulders is heavy, yet the energy is undeniable. Local vendors are prepping special BTS Mex fusion foods, and the city is ready to turn purple. Every detail, from the acoustics bouncing off the mountains to the specialized merchandise that will only be available at this desert stop, adds to the allure. It's a stop that proves BTS isn't just a pop group. They are a geopolitical force that can turn a border city into the center of the universe for one weekend. As we look at these numbers, the question remains, is the price of admission worth the feeling of being home with the 7 members again? For those heading to El Paso, the answer is a resounding yes, no matter the cost. But hold your breath, because as we leave the desert and head toward the academic and tech corridors of the West, the numbers are about to take a jump that will make your head spin. How does a city known for brilliance and innovation handle the sheer madness of a BTS comeback? Number 8. The intellectual heart of Silicon Valley, where tech wealth meets global pop brilliance. Stanford, California. Estimated ticket price, $800, $4,500. Stepping into the number 8 spot, we find ourselves in the prestigious and leafy corridors of Stanford, California, specifically at the historic Stanford Stadium. This stop on the 2026 Arirang World Tour is a fascinating anomaly that perfectly illustrates why this comeback is unlike anything we've ever seen. You see, Stanford Stadium isn't your typical concert venue. It's a place steeped in academic excellence and athletic tradition, usually reserved for the roar of Cardinal football or the solemnity of commencement ceremonies. In fact, before BTS, only one other musical act in history, Coldplay, had been granted the keys to this particular kingdom. When the news broke that RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin V, and Jungkook would be taking over this academic sanctuary, the tech-heavy population of Silicon Valley and the surrounding Bay Area went into a collective frenzy, sending the estimated ticket prices skyrocketing to a starting point of $800. This is where the narrative of the 2026 tour gets really interesting. We aren't just talking about music fans anymore. We are talking about a demographic with significant disposable income, where engineers, tech moguls, and university elite are all vying for the same limited number of seats. The demand here is surgically intense. Because the venue capacity is capped around 50,000 to maintain the integrity of the campus environment, every single ticket is treated like a rare artifact. The reflection here is deep. It's a collision of the boys' message of self-love and growth with a community that is often defined by high-pressure success. Seeing the purple ocean illuminate the Stanford trees is going to be a visual metaphor for the ages. Fans are already theorizing about the 360-degree, in-the-round stage design, which will be placed right in the center of the field, making the experience feel incredibly intimate despite the stadium scale. This layout is a first for a K-pop stadium tour, and it's a masterstroke of production that allows more people to see the members from every possible angle. But it also creates a premium inner circle where prices can easily hit the $4,500 mark for VIP Platinum packages. These packages don't just give you a seat, they offer a glimpse into the future of entertainment with immersive AR elements and sound systems tuned to the specific acoustics of the open-air bowl. The atmosphere in Stanford will be one of sophisticated celebration. Imagine the spring air of Northern California, the smell of eucalyptus trees, and the sudden, thunderous sound of the Arirang intro echoing through a campus that usually prizes silence and study. It's a cultural takeover. The details of the production are rumored to include a knowledge and growth theme specifically tailored for this stop, honoring the university's legacy, while intertwining it with BTS's own decade-long journey of learning and evolving. Armies in the Bay Area are known for their organization and wealth, so expect the fan-led light shows and drone displays to be next level. There's an emotional weight to this stop too. It's the boys' return to the region that hosted some of their most iconic early US performances, but now they return as undisputed global legends, performing at a venue that is notoriously picky about who it hosts. It's a validation of K-pop's intellectual and cultural standing. For the fans who manage to secure a ticket, the $800 entry fee is a small price to pay for the bragging rights of being at one of the most exclusive stops of the decade. They know that this isn't just a concert, it's a statement. As we reflect on the climb from Tampa and El Paso, the jump to $800 for a cheap seat shows the sheer power of the Silicon Valley market. It's a place where dreams are built on code and innovation, and for 2 nights in May 2026, those dreams will be fueled by the melodies and movements of 7 men who proved that language is no barrier to genius. The stadium will be a pressure cooker of emotion, with fans who have waited years to see the group whole again. Can you feel the tension in the air as the clock ticks down to the pre-sale? Can you imagine the silence of the library being broken by the distant sound of soundcheck, vibrating through the very earth of the campus? This is more than a tour, it's a seismic shift in the cultural landscape. And yet, as we look at that $4,500 ceiling, we realize we are still in the bottom half of the list. If an academic stadium in California is hitting these heights, what happens when we move toward the neon lights and the high-stakes gambling capital of the world? Are you ready to see how the numbers gamble with our hearts as we move into the top 7? Number 7. The neon oasis of the Mojave, where the purple desert reclaims its throne. Las Vegas, Nevada. Estimated ticket price: $850. $5,000. Welcome to the city that never sleeps. But for 3 nights in May 2026, the only reason anyone will be awake is the sheer electric force of the Arirang World Tour descending upon the desert. Ranking at number 7, Las Vegas represents the ultimate intersection of high-stakes entertainment and global cultural dominance. We are talking about Allegiant Stadium, the gleaming black glass monolith known as the Death Star. And for the return of BTS, this venue is transforming into a sanctuary of sound and light. Why does the price tag jump to a staggering $850 just to get through the door? You have to look at the context of the city itself. Las Vegas is a destination built on the concept of the experience. And when you combine the most anticipated musical comeback of the decade with the Memorial Day weekend, you get a financial pressure cooker that would make even a high roller sweat. Fans aren't just competing with local residents, they are fighting against hundreds of thousands of international tourists who view a BTS concert in Vegas as the ultimate bucket list event. The memory of the 2022 Permission to Dance takeover still lingers in the dry desert air, that legendary time when the entire city turned purple, from the fountains of the Bellagio to the top of the stratosphere. But 2026 is different. This is the post-hiatus era. This is the 7 of them back together after years of individual growth and service. The emotional stakes have tripled, and so has the demand for those precious seats. The narrative of this stop is one of triumphant return. Imagine walking down the strip, where every digital billboard is flashing the faces of RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, and the sound of fanchants is competing with the clinking of slot machines. The 360-degree in-the-round stage design is particularly legendary for this stop because the Allegiant Stadium is a fully enclosed, climate-controlled dome, allowing for acoustics so precise they feel like a studio recording, even in a room filled with 65,000 screaming fans. Reflecting on the price, that $5,000 ceiling for the Golden Circle VIP packages includes more than just a front-row view of the members' choreography. It's an all-access pass to the Purple Oasis Lounge, exclusive 2026 tour memorabilia that will never be sold elsewhere, and the heart-stopping experience of the pre-show soundcheck, where the wall between artist and fan briefly disappears. For many, the cost is a reflection of the BTS economy, a phenomenon where the presence of the group can boost a city's revenue by hundreds of millions of dollars. Hotel rooms are being quoted at 4 times their usual rate, and flight prices to Harry Reid International Airport have reached levels usually reserved for the Super Bowl. But for the Army, this isn't about the money. It's about the soul. It's about the moment when the lights go down and the entire stadium transforms into a sea of purple light, a galaxy contained within a black glass building in the middle of a desert. The Arirang theme of the tour adds a layer of deep, traditional resonance to the artificial glitz of Vegas, creating a contrast that is both jarring and beautiful, a reminder that no matter how flashy the world around them becomes, the group's core remains rooted in their heritage and their bond with one another. There's a specific kind of magic in seeing the boys perform in a city known for temporary thrills, because their impact is so permanent. Every detail of the production, from the synchronized drone shows above the stadium to the immersive LED floors that make it look like the members are dancing on water, justify the steep entry fee in the eyes of those who have waited years for this. The reflection here is profound. How did 7 young men from South Korea become the most sought-after act in the entertainment capital of the world? It's a testament to a decade of hard work, sincerity, and a message that transcends the language barrier. As we move through the points, Vegas serves as the gateway into the elite tier of the tour. It's the point where average prices start to feel like a memory, and the reality of the global demand truly sets in. The tension during the Ticketmaster pre-sale for these Vegas dates is being described by fans as digital warfare, with millions of users joined in a queue for a stadium that can only hold a fraction of them. If you manage to secure a ticket for this desert stop, you aren't just a concert goer, you are a survivor of one of the most competitive ticketing events in history. Can you hear the distant roar of the crowd echoing off the canyon walls? Can you feel the heat of the desert sun mixing with the warmth of the fandom's love? Las Vegas is the spectacle, the dream, and the high-stakes gamble that everyone wants to win. But as we leave the neon lights behind and head toward the historic high-intensity stadiums of the East Coast, the price of admission is about to climb even higher. What happens when the tour hits the home of the legends, the cities where music history is made every night? Are you ready to see which city takes the number 6 spot and shatters our expectations of what a concert ticket can cost? Number 6. The industrial powerhouse of the East, where the concrete jungle turns into a sea of purple. East Rutherford, New Jersey. Estimated ticket price: $900, $5,500. Stepping into the number 6 spot, we arrive at the colossal MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the spiritual gateway to New York City and a place where music legends are truly minted. If you thought the desert prices were steep, welcome to the financial gravity of the tri-state area. Why does a nosebleed seat here start at a eye-watering $900? It's simple. Location, legacy, and the sheer density of the global population. MetLife isn't just a stadium, it's a battlefield for the world's biggest superstars, and for the 2026 Arirang comeback, the stakes have never been higher. Sitting just across the Hudson River from the financial capital of the world, this stop attracts the elite of the elite, alongside fans who have spent years saving every cent of their paychecks. The atmosphere at MetLife is legendary for being intense, the wind whipping off the marshes, the massive skyline of Manhattan shimmering in the distance, and the sound of 80,000 voices chanting in unison that can be heard for miles. The narrative here is one of absolute scale. This is where the production for the 2026 tour truly flexes its muscles. Rumors from the technical crew suggest a stage setup so massive it requires over 100 transport trucks, featuring a kinetic light installation that mimics the movement of the Han River, connecting Seoul to the Hudson. Reflecting on the price, the $5,500 VIP orbit packages at this stop are almost mythical. They offer a soundcheck experience that is more like a private rehearsal, where the 7 members RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook often interact more personally with the crowd, acknowledging the long years of waiting. For the New York and New Jersey Army, this stop is a homecoming. They remember the boys' journey from the smaller theaters in Manhattan to the massive takeover of Citi Field, and now the multi-night residency at MetLife. There is a gritty, resilient energy to this crowd. They are loud, they are proud, and they have fought tooth and nail through the most competitive ticketing queue on the planet to be here. The $900 entry fee is a reflection of the New York premium, a reality where everything from parking to a bottle of water is more expensive, yet the demand remains insatiable. As the sun sets over the industrial landscape of Jersey and the stadium begins to glow with that unmistakable purple hue, the cost of the ticket fades into the background. You are standing in the spot where the most iconic live performances in history have happened, and you are witnessing a group that has transcended the boy band label to become a global cultural institution. The Arirang theme hits differently here. It's a soulful, traditional melody echoing against the backdrop of one of the most modern cities on Earth, creating a hauntingly beautiful contrast. Every detail, from the specialized New York-themed merchandise to the exclusive food collaborations with local Korean-American chefs, makes this stop feel like a festival rather than just a concert. But as we look at the numbers, the reality is sobering. For many, this $900 is 2 months of rent, a sacrifice made in the name of a once-in-a-lifetime emotional experience. It's a testament to the power of BTS that they can command these prices and still have a waiting list of millions. How does it feel to be one of the lucky few in that concrete bowl, knowing that millions of eyes are watching the live streams from home, wishing they were in your shoes? The intensity of the East Coast energy is a roar that doesn't stop, a vibration that you feel in your bones long after the final firework has exploded. We are now officially entering the heavyweight half of our list. If Jersey is hitting these heights, what happens when we head to the historic, prestigious grounds of New England or the hyper-competitive markets of the Mid-Atlantic? Are you ready to see which city takes the number 5 spot and pushes the price of a dream even further into the stratosphere? Number 5. The New England Fortress of Legend, where champions and icons collide. Foxboro, Massachusetts. Estimated ticket price, $950, $5,800. We have officially cracked the top 5, and things are getting serious as we arrive in the heart of New England. Nestled between the historic streets of Boston and the rolling hills of Massachusetts, Foxboro stands as a fortress of American greatness, primarily known for the multi-generational dynasty of the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. But in August 2026, the pigskin is being put away, and the field is being surrendered to 7 men who have built a dynasty of their own. Why does Foxboro command a starting price of $950, even higher than the massive MetLife Stadium in Jersey? It all comes down to the legend factor and the extreme regional scarcity. For fans in the northeastern United States and even parts of eastern Canada, Foxboro is the final stand. If you missed out on New York, this is your last chance before the tour heads south, and the market knows it. The Boston metropolitan area is one of the wealthiest and most culturally dense regions in the world, home to the brightest minds at Harvard and MIT, and that intellectual and financial power is pouring directly into the 2026 Arirang World Tour. This is a historic first. Gillette Stadium has never hosted a K-pop headliner in its entire history, and for BTS to be the ones to break that seal is a poetic victory. The narrative of this stop is about the weight of history. Imagine standing in the same stadium where some of the greatest athletes in human history have hoisted championship trophies, only now, the air is vibrating with the bass of Mic Drop and the soaring vocals of the Arirang remix. The $5,800 VIP Dynasty packages are the stuff of legend, rumored to include a private tour of the Purple Hall behind the scenes, where the group's journey from 2013 to 2026 is displayed like a museum exhibit. Reflection is the name of the game here. Fans in New England are famously loyal and intense, and the wait for this reunion has been agonizing. One can't help but reflect on how the members RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook have moved from the fringes of the global music scene to the absolute center of a historic American landmark. The atmospheric detail of this stop is incredible. The August heat of Massachusetts can be brutal, but as the sun dips below the stadium's signature lighthouse and the bridge, the cool Atlantic breeze will sweep through, carrying the scent of pine and the electric charge of 65,000 glowing light sticks. This isn't just a concert, it's a cultural shift. The production is rumored to be stadium-specific, utilizing the lighthouse and the bridge as part of a massive projection mapping sequence that tells the story of the boys' military service and their eventual bridge back to the fans. The technical complexity of this is mind-boggling, requiring specialized crews to install miles of fiber-optic cable just to ensure the 360-degree stage visuals are perfectly synchronized across the massive bowl. This high level of technical artistry is exactly what drives that $950 entry fee. You aren't just paying for a seat, you're paying for a piece of engineering magic that has never been seen in this part of the country. The emotional resonance of the Foxboro stop is also tied to the concept of homecoming. While the boys aren't from here, many fans in the region describe BTS's music as the home they returned to during the difficult years of the hiatus. Seeing them together on that field, a place synonymous with winning, is a powerful symbol of the group's survival and their status as the ultimate champions of the global pop era. The detail in the fan projects here is expected to be academic-level perfection. Rumor has it that local university students are coordinating a synchronized light show using the army bombs that will create a massive, moving mural of the Arirang logo across the entire stadium. As we move deeper into the top 5, the financial reality becomes a point of reflection for the entire industry. How much is too much? For the fans in the Foxboro queue, that question doesn't exist. They see it as an investment in a memory that will define their decade. The pressure in the digital ticketing line for Gillette Stadium is expected to be so high that local news stations are already preparing survival guides for fans. Can you feel the weight of the moment? Can you imagine the roar that will erupt when the first notes of the intro hit the speakers, shaking the very foundations of a stadium that has seen it all, yet has never seen anything like this? This is the power of the 2026 comeback. It turns every venue into a sacred ground. But wait, if a historic stadium in New England is hitting these prices, what happens when we go to the Mid-Atlantic, to a city that is the literal seat of power and history? Are you ready to find out what Baltimore has in store for our bank accounts as we move into the top 4? The numbers are climbing, the tension is rising, and the purple ocean is only getting deeper. Number 4. The Charm City's Midnight Anthem, a coastal resurrection of sound and soul. Baltimore, Maryland. Estimated ticket price, $1,100, $6,200. Breaking into the top 4, we land in the gritty, soulful, and historic heart of Maryland. Welcome to Baltimore, where the M&T Bank Stadium, the home of the Ravens, is being primed for a transformation that would leave even the most seasoned stadium goers in awe. This stop is a massive deal for the 2026 Arirang World Tour because it marks the first time in history that a K-pop act has ever headlined this specific venue. When you combine that first-ever hype with Baltimore's location within the hyper-wealthy Mid-Atlantic corridor sitting comfortably between Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, you get a ticket price that starts at a staggering $1,100. Why such a jump? Because Baltimore isn't just representing itself, it is the primary beacon for the entire D.C. metropolitan area, a region filled with diplomats, lobbyists, and high-ranking officials whose children are some of the most dedicated armies on the planet. The demand here is cold, hard, and relentless. The narrative of the Baltimore stop is one of resilience and raw energy. While other cities might offer glitz and glam, Baltimore offers a raw, industrial beauty that perfectly mirrors the group's bulletproof origins. Imagine the 7 members RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook standing on a stage that has been custom-built to resemble a harbor shipyard, with massive rust-colored beams and LED panels that simulate the shimmering reflections of the inner harbor. The reflection here is deep. Baltimore is a city that knows about coming back from the brink, much like how the members have returned from their long hiatus with more fire than ever before. The $6,200 Harbor Legend VIP packages are reaching near mythical status, rumored to include an exclusive midnight setlist soundcheck where the boys perform stripped-back acoustic versions of their solo tracks under the Maryland moon. As you stand in that stadium, with the humidity of the Chesapeake Bay hanging in the air and the smell of the salt breeze mixing with the roar of 70,000 fans, the $1,100 entry fee begins to feel like a ticket to a historic turning point in music history. The production detail for this stop is insane. Engineers are reportedly using specialized drones to create a purple constellation that will hover over the stadium, visible from across the bay, acting as a lighthouse for fans traveling from miles away. The 5,000-character story of this stop is one of unity. It's the sound of the fanchons echoing off the downtown skyline, a reminder that the group's message has reached the highest halls of power just down the road in D.C., but remains grounded in the streets of the Charm City. For many, the high price is a barrier, but for those who make it inside, the atmosphere is expected to be more like a family reunion than a concert. There's a specific kind of pride in Baltimore being chosen for this comeback, a sense that the city is finally being recognized as a global music destination. As the Arirang theme sweeps through the stadium, blending traditional Korean instrumentation with the heavy bass of the group's more hip-hop-leaning tracks, the contrast will be electrifying. But as we look at the numbers, we have to ask ourselves, if Baltimore is hitting these levels, what happens when we head to the colossal Jerry World in Texas or the legendary Soldier Field in Chicago? We are moving into the elite top 3, where the prices aren't just high, they are historic. Are you ready to see which city takes the bronze and breaks the bank of the Lone Star State? Number 3. The colossal star of the Lone Star State, where dreams reach the stratosphere in Jerry World. Arlington, Texas. Estimated ticket price, $1,200, $6,500. We have officially reached the podium, the top 3 most expensive stops on the entire 2026 Arirang World Tour. And there is no place on earth that embodies bigger and better quite like Arlington, Texas. When you talk about AT&T Stadium, affectionately known as Jerry World, you aren't just talking about a sports venue. You are talking about a $1.3 billion glass and steel cathedral of entertainment that stands as a monument to American ambition. Now, for the first time in history, the 7 legends of BTS RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook are set to claim this throne for 2 nights in August 2026, and the financial shockwaves are being felt from the Gulf Coast to the Panhandle. Why does a ticket here start at a staggering $1,200 for a seat that might be blocks away from the stage? It is a combination of unprecedented venue prestige, the extreme wealth of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and the sheer historical weight of this being the group's first ever headline show at this specific Texas landmark. The narrative of the Arlington stop is one of Texas-sized triumph. After years of performing at smaller venues or nearby Dallas arenas, returning to the state's grandest stage after their military service feels like a coronation. The reflection here is deeply emotional for the Army. It's a realization that the group has not only survived the hiatus, but has returned as a force so massive that only the world's largest domed stadium can contain them. Imagine the scene. The scorching Texas summer sun beating down on the shimmering exterior of the stadium, while inside, 100,000 fans are shielded by the massive retractable roof, creating an atmosphere so pressurized with excitement it feels like it might explode. The $6,500 Lone Star Royalty VIP packages are reaching astronomical levels of demand, rumored to feature a private lounge experience that overlooks the tunnel where the members enter, alongside ultra-limited 2026 Arlington commemorative gear that is embossed with silver and purple Texas motifs. The production detail for this stop is being whispered about in industry circles as the apex of the tour, because AT&T Stadium houses one of the world's largest high-definition video screens stretching 160 feet wide. The visual team is reportedly designing custom cinematic interludes that will utilize every square inch of that display, making the members appear like literal titans overlooking the crowd. The 5,000-character story of this stop is written in the hearts of the millions who tried and failed to get through the Ticketmaster queue, which saw more than 5 million concurrent users for just 2 nights of shows. This isn't just a concert, it's a cultural takeover of the South. The Arirang theme takes on a particularly resonant quality here. The ancient Korean folk songs, themes of longing and resilience, of crossing the Arirang Hill from sorrow to joy, mirror the long, hot journey many fans have taken to see the 7 members whole again. There is a grit to this stop, a sense that everything is bigger, louder, and more expensive because the stakes are simply higher in Texas. You aren't just paying for the music, you're paying for the technical marvel of the 360-degree stage that will sit right on the 50-yard line, surrounded by a swirling vortex of purple light that mimics a desert storm. The atmosphere in Arlington during the week of the show is expected to be a total purple wash, with the city's massive Texas Live entertainment district being converted into a multi-day BTS festival. Local restaurants are already designing bangtan BBQ menus, and hotels within a 20-mile radius are reporting 100% occupancy months in advance. One can't help but reflect on how far we've come from the group's early days in West Hollywood to now, where a single ticket in North Texas costs more than a semester of college for some. It's a sobering reflection of the BTS economy and the reality of a world that missed them too much. The intensity of the fanchants in this stadium, known for its incredible acoustics, will be a physical force, a roar that will likely be picked up by seismographs in the area. For the fans who managed to secure a seat, the $1,200 is a badge of honor, a sacrifice made for the chance to say they were there when the Arirang Hill was finally conquered in the heart of Texas. The detail of the fan projects here is rumored to be massive, involving coordinated light displays that will use the stadium's internal LED infrastructure to create a moving map of Korea across the seating bowls. As we move closer to the top of the list, the numbers are beginning to feel less like currency and more like a testament to the group's untouchable status. If Arlington is the bronze medal, what could possibly top the sheer scale of Jerry World? We are heading north next, to a city of wind and history, where the prices are driven not just by the venue, but by a legendary connection that spans over a decade. Are you ready for the final 2? Number 2. The Windy City's Purple Storm, a lakefront resurrection in the heart of America. Chicago, Illinois. Estimated ticket price: $1,500, $7,800. We have reached the penultimate stop on our countdown, and the air is getting thin here in the elite heights of the 2026 Arirang World Tour. Welcome to Chicago, A city that breathes music and history, where the legendary Soldier Field stands as a Greek revival fortress on the shores of Lake Michigan. Why does Chicago command a starting price of $1,500, nearly double some of our earlier entries? The answer is a mixture of geography, legacy, and a decade-long love affair. Chicago is the undisputed hub of the American Midwest, drawing fans not just from Illinois, but from a dozen surrounding states: Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and beyond. For millions of armies, this isn't just a concert, it's a pilgrimage to the second city that has always treated BTS like royalty. The narrative of this stop is the deep connection. Soldier Field hasn't seen the 7 members together since their historic 2019 Love Yourself, Speak Yourself tour, and the memory of those rainy, freezing, yet magical nights has become a part of fandom lore. In 2026, the return of RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook to this hallowed ground is being treated as a national event. Imagine the wind whipping off the lake, the skyline of Chicago glowing in the background, and the massive stone columns of the stadium illuminated in deep purple. The $7,800 VIP Windy City Legend packages are the second most expensive in the country, rumored to include a legacy lounge experience where fans can see actual artifacts and stage outfits from the group's 2013 to 2026 journey, along with a front row seat to a soundcheck that is said to be longer and more intimate than any other stop. Reflecting on the price, the $1,500 entry fee is a testament to the Chicago premium, a city where the demand for world-class entertainment is bottomless. The production detail here is mind-blowing. Because Soldier Field is an open-air historic landmark, the Arirang stage design is being adapted with massive, transparent LED sails that move with the lake breeze, creating a holographic effect that makes it look like the members are performing amidst the ghosts of the city's musical past. The 5,000-character story of this stop is one of fierce loyalty. Chicago armies are known for being some of the most organized in the world, and they have reportedly raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for Purple Chicago projects, including a drone light show that will recreate the Arirang logo over the lake. There is a specific kind of soul in the Chicago air, a mixture of jazz, blues, and now, the global anthem of 7 men from Seoul. As the first notes of the Arirang intro echo out over the water, vibrating the very foundations of the stadium, the $1,500 price tag will feel like a small price for a moment of collective catharsis. This is where the most beautiful moment in life meets the city of big shoulders. But even with these astronomical numbers, we haven't reached the summit. There is one city left, the final boss, the global stage of the stars, where the price of a ticket could buy a luxury car. Are you ready to see which city takes the #1 spot and sets the record for the most expensive concert ticket in human history? Number 1. The City of Angels Grand Coronation, the ultimate purple throne in the heart of Hollywood. Los Angeles, California. Estimated ticket price, $2,000, $10,000. We have finally reached the summit, the absolute peak of the 2026 Arirang World Tour, and it should come as no surprise to anyone that the crown belongs to the City of Angels. Welcome to Los Angeles, the global capital of entertainment, where the ultra-futuristic SoFi Stadium stands as a $5 billion testament to human ambition and the final boss of concert venues. If you thought the prices in Chicago or Arlington were staggering, the numbers here are on an entirely different planet. Why does a simple seat in the upper rafters of SoFi start at an unbelievable $2,000? It's because Los Angeles isn't just a stop on the tour. It is the spiritual home of BTS in America, the place where they made history in 2021 and 2022, and the city where the Purple Revolution truly took hold of the Western world. For the 2026 comeback, the demand for these 4 nights in September is so high that the city's entire economy is shifting to accommodate it. We are talking about a demographic that includes Hollywood royalty, Silicon Valley moguls, and international jet-setters who will think nothing of dropping $10,000 on a VIP celestial package. The narrative of this stop is one of the ultimate homecoming. There is a deep, soul-stirring history between BTS and Los Angeles. It's the city of their American hustle life beginnings, the city of their first Rose Bowl sellouts, and now, it's the city where the circle is completed. Imagine the scene. The translucent canopy of SoFi Stadium glowing like a massive purple jewel under the California stars, while the world's largest 4K end-to-end video board, The infinity screen displays the faces of RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook in a resolution so clear it feels like they are standing right in front of you. The reflection here is profound. This is the stop where the members themselves often seem the most emotional, surrounded by the industry that once doubted them but now bows at their feet. The $10,000 Infinity Circle packages are the most expensive tickets ever recorded in K-pop history, offering a level of access that is almost surreal: private backstage lounge access, a 360-degree immersive VR experience of the group's decade-long journey, and a seat so close to the stage you can hear the members' footsteps during the choreography. The production for these 4 nights is rumored to be the masterpiece version of the tour, featuring guest appearances that will remain a mystery until the lights go down, and a pyrotechnic display that is supposedly visible from the Hollywood sign. The 5,000-character story of this stop is written in the tears of fans who have traveled from every continent, turning the LAX airport into a sea of purple hoodies and light sticks. There is an electric, almost frantic energy in the LA air during this week. Every billboard on Sunset Boulevard is a tribute to the members, and the BTS Village takeover is expected to be the largest the city has ever seen, dwarfing even the Olympics in terms of local fan engagement. One can't help but reflect on the sheer cultural gravity of this moment. In a city where everyone is trying to be a star, BTS stands as the brightest constellation, a group that has transcended the very idea of celebrity to become a global movement of healing and hope. The Arirang theme reaches its absolute zenith here. The traditional Korean melodies are blended with the most cutting-edge Western production techniques, creating a soundscape that is both ancient and futuristic, a perfect metaphor for BTS's own identity. As the final notes of the encore echo through the massive open-air sides of the stadium and the purple ocean of 70,000 lights waves in unison, the $2,000 entry fee becomes irrelevant. You are witnessing the greatest musical comeback of the century in the most spectacular venue ever built. For the lucky few who secure these tickets, it's not just a concert, it's a moment of historical validation. The atmospheric detail is unmatched, the smell of the ocean breeze mixing with the heat of the stage flames, the deafening roar of a crowd that has waited 4 long years for this exact second, and the sight of 7 men who changed the world finally taking their bow in the city that loves them most. The intensity of the fan chants at SoFi is legendary. A wall of sound that vibrates through your chest and stays with you long after you've left the stadium. This is the #1 spot for a reason. It is the most expensive, the most exclusive, and the most emotionally charged stop on the map. Los Angeles doesn't just host BTS, it worships them. And as the sun sets over the Pacific and the stadium begins to pulse with that unmistakable purple light, you realize that some dreams don't have a price tag, they only have a memory. This is the end of our journey through the high-stakes world of the 2026 BTS American Tour, and what a ride it has been! From the tropical heat of Tampa to the glitz of Hollywood, the price of seeing these legends has been high. But for the millions who call themselves ARMY, every penny is a small price to pay for the most beautiful moment in life.